Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video. The AMD Radeon 300 series is going to be released by late June 2015, according to yet another rumour. Now, you might be letting out a bit of a sigh and thinking, well, how many rumours are we going to have? Well, actually, these rumours tally even with what the CEO of AMD has said. During an investor conference, and obviously we covered this really in depth when AMD actually came out and said, yes, we're using high bandwidth memory and all of the other information. We'll go over some of that in just a moment. She actually said, Dr. Lisa Su, that, and I quote, that it's going to be unveiled within the next few weeks at a big event. So she didn't say it's going to be at this event or at this event, but she did say it's going to be within the next few weeks. Now, if you start to look at the time frames of this, the E3 PC gaming event is in mid-June. That makes a lot of sense, and people were kind of thinking, yes, it's most likely going to be it. However, yet another website is added to these rumours, BenchLife, who usually have a fairly good history with the whole crystal ball thing when it comes to hardware reviews and hardware release dates. They've said, yes, it's going to be mid-June. What dates? Well, it depends on the card. The series as a whole is going to be released in June 18, while the Fiji may slip back a little bit and may be released the 24th. There are a couple of caveats, however, because we are seeing some OEM versions of the cards, which specifically are rebrands, and we've covered this in detail previously. They're slowly starting to trickle out, and the rumour on the street is they're going to be out earlier. It's a very strange situation with the fact that these cards are taking longer to release. However, there are a couple of reasons I think behind this. And this is not me speaking on behalf of AMD, but this is me kind of guessing that the reason, because we've heard a couple of earlier release dates and they've just not happened. Why? Well, in my personal opinion, it's because of the high bandwidth memory. I think they're trying to make sure that it's, works. They really want to test the product. They want to make sure that they can get good heats. They're probably trying to clock it as aggressively as possible. And to be honest with you, they're probably just testing the technology and making sure that all the drivers and stuff work, which would make sense. And frankly, if some of the rumours with the whole water cooling versions of the card are accurate, as well as the whole 8GB of RAM situation, which we've discussed umpteen times previously, and obviously it's just basically the fact that HBM1 typically has a memory limit of 4GB, so they're basically using technology to get around that limit to go to 8GB. It's probable that some of this has taken additional R&D time. They've had to actually test it. They have to, of course, get official approval to make sure that it's, safe to use and all of that stuff. So this stuff takes time, unfortunately. I have the feeling that some of it as well was to do with the fact that they're trying to get rid of some of their old stock. Anyway, the GPU is supposedly going to be a bit of a monster. We are hearing a lot of reports and even some leaked images of 4096 shaders. It's going to be using a redesigned 1.3 GCN architecture, and it's going to be running at 1.05 GHz. Supposedly, obviously, it could be a little bit faster, a little bit slower, but using those figures, one can just extrapolate and say it's going to have about 8.5 teraflops of computing performance, which is crazy. It's absolutely just astoundingly ludicrous when you start comparing it to, well, pretty much anything. The biggest point, as many of you know, is the high bandwidth memory, which is running at 640GB per second. That's double that of the R9 290X, which of course is utilizing GDDR5. If any of this is, well, we do know it is utilizing high bandwidth memory, but if the rest of the specifications turn out to be pretty accurate, this card is going to be a monster. Now, obviously, bandwidth at the end of the day does not equal shader power. However, we're still looking, rounding it up roughly, about 3 teraflops over the previous generation card, over the 290X. Plus, of course, architectural improvements, whatever they've managed to do efficiency-wise. Obviously, we don't know what they are yet. For example, they might have added an additional set of level to cache or whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that's what they've done. For all I know, they've made, you know, the GPU in the shape of an elephant's ear. I don't know. But the biggest point for many is the memory bandwidth, because it theoretically should mean that a lot of stuff is going to be a lot better in terms of high resolution. Basically, we're not going to be getting memory bandwidth constrained problems, so it's going to be limited, at least in theory, to shaders. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Once again, you can check on the article if you want more information, or if you want, you know, shiny images. But for now, I'm going to let you guys go. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Take care, and have a great day.